You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
This is not Tyler Yaremchuk, but it is a 3-game series. Let's get into it with the lead. Oh my goodness, welcome to Oilers Nation Everyday, a presentation of Bet365, and it's live from sort of the Sports Closet studio, from jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. Also, shout out to Odd Company Brewing and the all-new Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for any day of the week. My name is DJ Bean. As I mentioned, I am not Tyler Yaremchuk, but I am a dear friend and fan of Tyler Yaremchuk. Perhaps you have seen me or my co-host Pete Blackburn or my producer Sean DePaz on this show before. We do a show called What Chaos. It is a daily NHL show, and it is accused often of being an Edmonton Oilers show. And folks, Bordsy, Sean, last night was why. Last night is why we are accused of being an Edmonton Oilers show, of being the sister show, the brother show, the whatever you want to call it, of Oilers Nation Every Day, because the Edmonton Oilers do things that only the Edmonton Oilers can do. A question going around this morning was, did you believe? Did you believe? You couldn't not believe. You couldn't not believe at 3-0 that something was going to happen. Makeup calls were coming. Maybe a power play goal was coming. Something was going to happen and something was going to change. Did I think that it would be 3-3 after 2 periods? Yeah, honestly, kind of, just based on the crazy shit that this team does. But unbelievable nonetheless. What other team can come back from down 3-0, blow a 4-3 lead, go into overtime, have posts hit on both sides, and still come away from it when your 50-goal scorer passes the puck kind of into the net? Incredible. Sean, I say this all the time on our show. You're making a face. You're giving a laugh.
No, I just it's hard to. It's funny because, like you said, they were down 3-0, and who could have seen it coming? Kind of all of us.
Kind of everybody.
Kind of everybody. It's the Edmonton Oilers, and they do stuff like this, and it kind of rocks.
When I was putting together our notes for What Chaos today, I was going to say that 3-0 means nothing to the Edmonton Oilers, but it kind of does. It's kind of a starter's pistol.
Yeah,
if it's 3-0 against the Florida Panthers,
series or game.
Yeah, and we spent our whole show on What Chaos trying to figure out, like, do the Panthers mess around too much? Do the Panthers let teams back in it? Kind of, but more it's just a thing that happens when the Panthers and the Oilers get together. Yeah. It's not good behavior that the Oilers blew that lead late in the game, by the way. Like, Calvin Pickard wants to get more on that. Brett Kulak probably wants to get the puck maybe behind him to Evan Bouchard, or Leon Draisaitl wants to win that puck battle with Carter Verhaeghe. But still, things that would break a team do not break the Edmonton Oilers, and here we are. Bordsy, do you have a voice? I know that you were doing post-game. How are you?
Oh, brother, I'm doing better than I ever have before. Also, you're just like me, DJ. I believe I even brought your tweet in. You knew that this comeback was coming. You got it right here. The silver lining is the Oilers are going on the power play twice in the first 10 minutes of the second period. Get the PP going. Make this a game. That's exactly what happened. I'm down at Greta hosting the party. I am screaming on the mic, imploring everyone to live bet the comeback, because we've been here before. We have done this dance a million times before. You shouldn't be surprised anymore. Can't lie to you, I still was a little bit surprised. The vibes after the first period. Greta's a great spot. You've been there. You could hear a pin drop. It was like watching your firstborn son die right in front of you. And then they scratch, they claw, they fight. They come all the way back. It was truly an insane roller coaster last night. This team's the best.
Yeah, 17, 18 minutes is not long enough for an intermission. They need to make them longer. Clearly, because Calvin Pickard said after the game, like, Knoblauch didn't tell me till we were going back out, hey, Picks, you're in the net. But we were doing a watch-along stream, and we were trying to use that intermission to figure out what the hell had happened. And the easy read on it was Panthers came out, they blew doors for the first 10 minutes, stupid penalties, now here we are. But there was also the makeup calls are coming. You don't want to make it about the refs. It's a loser's mentality, but it's just true. The Oilers played very poorly, and two kind of big calls went against them, and we were trying to figure out how many are they owed, because there's the missed one on Sam Bennett, whatever. I don't get too mad about missed calls. I get mad when it costs the team a goal, when they are playing so poorly that you question, can they afford to fall behind 3-0 in this game, when no one's going to talk about it. You might never see Stu again the rest of this series, that Stu is probably their best player in the first period of that game, and it didn't matter. So they were owed something.
I thought the Oilers, without a doubt, you knew that, I hate that we sit here. The refs have obviously been a factor in this series. You'd have to be blind not to see that. But the Oilers, you knew some calls were going to go their way, and they had to take advantage. But, Deej, what I want to talk about is the Oilers through 3 rounds, right? They got here on the back of their depth. It was rolling 4 lines. It was having a complete 6-man decor. Through 3 games of the Cup Final, the depth did not show up. But last night, bang, Vasily Podkolzin scores the biggest goal of his life. Jake the Snake Wallman, who had so much time to walk into that clap bomb, was absolutely beautiful. I thought the depth guys showed up big, and then I guess you could say there's no bigger depth player than your backup goaltender who came in and shut the door. I'm curious, Deej, we did a poll last night on After Dark. Who gets the start in Game 5? It's like 93% Calvin Pickard. I love Stu. I'm a Stu man, but I think you got to ride the hot hand. I'm curious. You going picks as well?
I'm going picks as well, but I will say this, and this is what we've worried about, and we talked about with Steve Peters today, and he actually said for the first time, that's a good point, because that's something that coaches talk about, which is the what-ifs of it. Because if you go with Stu Skinner in Game 5 and you lose and you are desperate and you need a win, and you say, you know what, we're throwing Calvin Pickard in net on the road in Florida, he would say, this oddly is nothing I've never seen before. I know it's like 8 negatives, but it is a positive that Calvin Pickard can be in this situation and say, you're throwing me into the Amerant Bank Arena on the road. I got to win a game to keep this team's playoff hopes alive. No problem. I can do that. However, if you go Calvin Pickard in Game 5 and you lose, can you even go back to Stu Skinner on the road where he has been yanked in 2 straight games? And yes, one of them wasn't his fault. We'll say 1.5 of them weren't his fault. But the last 2 times this man has played hockey, it has been in this very building, and you decided you are not good enough to finish this game, let alone play the next one. So if you go Calvin Pickard, I worry that you have made your bed. And I'm not saying like made your bed the way I make my bed. I'm saying military, tuck that shit like crazy. That's not moving. You've made your bed.
That's one tuck. That's one no tuck. Seinfeld reference for you. But shout out the fact that, so Pix comes in, gets the job done, and while we're talking about down the road, I'm solely focused one game at a time. It's Game 5. That's Pix net. We'll cross that bridge Game 6 when we get to it. But let's say, live in some world that I don't want to live in, that you would need Stu to maybe go in for Game 6. I don't think it's that way. Stuart Skinner has been put into games. He's been through the ringer as the Edmonton Oilers goaltender, mentally in every facet you could think of. And I go back to last postseason. The Oilers down 3-2 to the Vancouver Canucks. They end up going with Stuart Skinner in the net. Things start to move from there. I think Stu mentally is a brick wall. Nothing's going to shake that guy. And I have full confidence in him. But Deech, that's down the road because we're going to smoke him in Game 5 because it is a cup year.
Cup year. And you know what? Pete Blackburn made the same point on our stream and on our show, which is like, you're worried about throwing Stu on the road with like a win or go home game? Why? He can handle that. And I'm like, damn, yeah, I know that he can. It's a tough call. I think that you do go Calvin Pickard, though. And I said before Game 4, and I'm like, if you don't know me, ultimate Stu defender. The lies I have told to win Stuart Skinner arguments have been crazy. I said if I were Kris Knoblauch, I would call Connor McDavid into the office and say, you pick, man. Who are you going to play better than? Or better in front of?
And I think through seeing it, DJ, we've seen a lot. Tyler brought this up a lot on Oilers Nation After Dark last night. He's been kind of banging this drum all season. And once again, I don't know if I fully agree with it, but there is some truth to be said that the Edmonton Oilers play better in front of Calvin Pickard. I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. Maybe they just really like the guy and they like laying out for some shots in front of him. But there has been a little bit of a theme here throughout the regular season that they play better. Deej, I'm curious, once again, I know you're hosting, but my question to you, what did you think of the poll in the moment? Because I thought, first period, the Edmonton Oilers, dog shit. Everybody on that team not playing well. Stuart Skinner was arguably the first star of that first period, but Kris Knoblauch, the king of adjustments. He has the pulse of this team better than any coach in the NHL. The strings he pulls just tend to work. And hey, he puts his balls on the line. He puts in his backup goalie. But what did you think about the poll in the moment? I'm curious.
Let's pull some receipts. Sean or Pete, do you remember what I thought? I have a memory of what I think it was, but what were we saying after? I think I was had to do it, but really mad. And then as they were coming back in that game, I was pulling my hair out. I was like, this isn't good behavior. But if they end up in a tie game, right. After they tied the game, I was like, do you put Stu back in for the third period? And they were throwing tomatoes at me. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Like, if you have to, like, this is such a big game. Do you want to be in the third period or overtime being like, we don't have our best players on the ice right now. We don't have our, and granted, if you come back to tie it, it means that some players have been your best players. But damn, like, you're rolling 5 defensemen. You got a short bench. Do you want to make sure that you have absolutely everybody out there you can have? But at this point, you got to ride with Pickard. I will note, though, I said this today on the show, I think Bob made the most, like, oh my God, big, huge saves. He made the breakaway save on Jeff Skinner at the beginning of the second period. He obviously made the breakaway stop on Connor McDavid after he killed Aaron Ekblad for the 500th time. He made some big save. Perry on the rebound on that power play when McDavid took the slap shot. So big saves for him. Obviously, Pickard on Lundell. Big save. He gets a piece of the Sam Bennett one in overtime, gets it off the post, although very, very close to kind of getting a piece of it and put it in his own net. But that's neither here nor there. Stu made as many huge saves as those guys, and Stu played for 20 minutes. Stu, the big save on, was it Bennett on the rebound? And then there was also the save that he made where someone jammed it in front, and he jumped on it, and it was like a fluttering thing, and he grabbed it, and it was sort of like a reverse of the end of game 1 against the Kings, where you knew 2 minutes into the game, and I was saying it on our stream, I said I would have liked to find out if game 4 Stu showed up. I would have liked to learn that like a period and a half into the game. I don't need to know right now that Stu can make 1 million saves, which is what he's doing right now. So Stu made as many huge saves in that game, certainly as Pickard, but maybe even as many as Bob. So, like, not your fault. That said, again, big Stu guy, I don't care about feelings right now. I know that he doesn't deserve what has happened to him. If Calvin Pickard is the guy that's going to get you 2 more wins, I'm very selfish, all I want is 2 more wins.
Feelings do not matter. This is crunch time, shitter get off the pot time. You play the hot hand. That's going to be Calvin Pickard. And if Stuart Skinner has to be the guy to fall on the sword, the sacrificial lamb, if you will, he's still going to get that ring, hopefully. And I still believe in him. But we talk about it there. All 3 goalies that played last night were amazing at points throughout it. You got beautiful special teams goals. You had McDavid dangling the shit out of Aaron Ekblad, like you mentioned. I could watch that over 1 million times. Why did Bob have to make that save? So I'm sitting here, Deej, and maybe this is a question for Sean, because I know you, Deej, you're an oil man through and through, but I'm sitting there. I joked last night that I lose 20 pounds of sweat during a game just like Sergei Bobrovsky does, because this shit is crazy, and that I can't even enjoy these hockey games because I'm so stressed out. The product is the best thing the NHL could possibly put out in the biggest stage and the biggest moments. And I can't enjoy any of it because I'm sweating buckets throughout it all. I was watching the Pacers-Thunder game the other night, and I was like, wow, this is just great basketball. This is so awesome to be an impartial fan and just cheer for good ball. And then I go to the Oilers. I know it's the best product ever, but I'm not having any fun until after they win the game. Sean, I guess my question to you is, what's it like to watch this hockey as an impartial NHL hockey fan?
It's pretty awesome. I can't lie to the people if there's anybody that's been paying close enough attention to what chaos,
he's all over the map, buddy.
I have been rooting for the Florida Panthers, but I can't help but like in the moment, like last night when Connor McDavid almost had that sick goal, I was like, I lost my mind. Like, Connor McDavid is my favorite player on the planet. He's unbelievable to watch. I can't help but like admire how awesome the hockey is. And like I said, I do have somewhat of a rooting interest, but at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of either of these teams. And it is just awesome to watch. Like, there's a reason people are calling it the best Stanley Cup of all time, because these games are awesome. And even the game that stunk, you know, there was things about it that were cool, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's the best player on the planet, the third best player on the planet, maybe a future Hall of Fame goalie. Like, it's got all the juice, and it has been incredibly awesome to watch.
Hear that? He says that even with getting pulled last night, Skinner is a future Hall of Fame goalie.
I was actually talking about Vitek Vanacek.
That's right.
Yeah, did you guys
I can't
see
believe
the
we haven't
pregame?
seen him at some point.
Did you see the pregame warm-up yesterday where it's Vanacek and Skinner doing the thing, and then Calvin Pickard got involved? I love a little gamesmanship from the boys. But Deej, I heard a lot of word gymnastics there from Sean. All I heard was oil man through and through. And Sean, there is plenty of room on the bandwagon best of 3 series. You can sit right next to me. I'd love to have you on.
Listen.
Say what you said about Game 7.
What did I say about Game 7?
Maybe you didn't say it, and I'm just deciding you said it. You said, these are Sean's words, not mine, if we're in Edmonton for Game 7, so we were in Florida for Game 7 last year, and my rooting interest, I think, is apparent. However, it's amazing to see fans seeing old people in Florida who had 90s Panthers jerseys with their kids or their grandkids or whatever. Watching them see their team win the Stanley Cup it's the best. It's the second best, I should say. If Sean is in Edmonton for a Game 7, he wants to see, like, you want to see the good things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said this before the series, right? Like, I am somewhat rooting for the Florida Panthers because there's just something about once the puck drops and I'm watching that team play hockey, it's just incredibly fun. But like, there are so many things outside of the games that make me want to root for the Edmonton Oilers. Like, I would love to see the city of Edmonton and you guys at Oilers Nation like get to enjoy that. I want to see the greatest player to ever play the game, Connor McDavid, get a chance to lift the Stanley Cup over his head. I want my boy, as a Buffalo Sabres fan, Jeff Skinner, to get a chance to lift the Stanley Cup. Like, there's so much about it that would be so awesome. And again, like, Connor McDavid is the most exciting player that I've ever seen play the game. And again, if you've been paying attention to what chaos, we've had a little bit of a beef with some people down at South Beach that may have been calling Connor McDavid overrated. Like, I don't want that to be in the way. I want him to have his ring so we can stop wasting time on that conversation. So yeah, I mean, it would be awesome to see the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup.
He's the best producer in the business. He's all over the map. He's just absolutely everywhere. Boardsy, I want to shout you out and Sean because you both tied into something that you said off the top of this segment. I'm so grateful that one of my many options for one big take has already been mentioned and is off the board because I didn't know what I'd be able to pick for that segment. You mentioned the depth, and Sean mentioned Jeff Skinner. They got something. That third line, Rico with Frederick, and Frederick, who, by the way, you're going to be seeing a lot more of him in the next 8 years. Frederick, Henrique, and Jeff Skinner. I mentioned the breakaway for Skinner in the beginning of the second period. Dogged work to set up the Nurse goal. Rico gets it to, Ekholm, because Lord knows Troy Stetcher wasn't out there with Nurse. And then you go from there. Frederick almost kicks in, would have been allowed, the game winner in overtime. Lot to like about that third line. And it's in a series where third line is synonymous with our dear friend Brad Marchand. To have the best line maybe on the ice last night be Edmonton's third line is certainly a return to previous series, even if the faces are different. And God, that is huge. Jeff Skinner, man, he's ready for the moment.
He is so ready for it. I know. Congrats to you, Sean. I know you guys have been leading the charge of get Jeff Skinner in the lineup. As much as Kris Knoblauch doesn't ever want to do it, he had no choice. And I thought that third line, like I keep going back to it, the Oilers are here because of their depth. everyone through the lineup showing up throughout the first 3 rounds. Yes, Connor and Leon are amazing. They're sick. They're nasty. The rest of the team was showing up, but through 3 games, we weren't getting anything. Freddie, he's got snake venom, I said last night, going through his body because he's so snake bitten. He almost got that one with his skate. He even then got a stick on it and also was able to get some wood. And Sergei Bobrovsky just made an insane save. But I liked what I saw from those 3 guys. I thought Henrik, Freddie especially, that guy finishes every check, every moment he can. He is a shockingly large man for a guy who has such a baby face. And speaking of baby faces, Jeff Skinner, I thought, fit in like a glove yesterday. I was talking on pre-gaming that personally, and I'd just like to see it maybe in spurts, but granted, that third line looks so good. I wanted Jeff Skinner to get a couple shots with Leon Draisaitl, because after Game 3, Evander Kane, who is becoming close to liability territory here in first periods of games, keep your stick down, brother. But I thought I wanted to see Jeff Skinner get some minutes there with Leon Draisaitl, because I keep saying it, I love Kasperi, cheeks clapping. But we kind of go through this phase where we fall in love with him for like 3 games. He plays amazing, does something great. And then the shine kind of wears off a little bit. And I just think Leon Draisaitl, Sean said it, not me, top 3 best player in the world. He could use some skill on his line in Jeff Skinner. But I am not going to sit here and tell Kris Knoblauch what to do, because that man is pulling strings like a genius right now.
Exactly. And I have to issue a correction. Sean, you were saying Connor McDavid is the 3rd best player in the world, right? And
yes.
that Leon is obviously number 1?
I mean, I know you're joking, but I have made the point that, like, this season is Leon Draisaitl's season. Like, he is the Edmonton Oilers this year. So, like, as far as who's gotten them to this point and, like, and all that stuff, like, this is Leon Draisaitl's Edmonton Oilers to a certain extent.
DJ, thoughts on not getting the Hart Trophy yesterday? I had a plus 450 ticket at Bet365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary. Also, I didn't see the news that it was leaked that Connor Hellebuyck won the Hart. If I knew that, maybe I would have cashed out my bet. But I know you're an oil man. I was a little bummed out Leon didn't get that. However, if you think Leon Draisaitl during the Cup Final gives 2 fucks about the Hart Memorial Trophy, you are sadly mistaken.
I mean, I won't go as far as to say I was rooting against Leon to win it last night, because if Leon Draisaitl wanted to win the Hart this year, he would not have played 71 games. He would have played 76 games and he would have won the Hart. And I think we all agree on that. And I think that last night is a reminder to him that, like, hey, you and so many people talked to Zach Hyman about this late in the season, where he's like, this regular season was a little different than other regular seasons, because obviously all we're thinking about is winning the Stanley Cup. Like, we came this close to winning the Stanley Cup. Yes, it's hard to not just think about the Stanley Cup. And Leon Draisaitl and his Hart candidacy is the most obvious example of that. This is a guy who we'll say overperformed even our own expectations for him when Connor McDavid was out, and kept the train going when Connor McDavid was out. Was the best goal scorer in the league, which is, I mean, a common enough thing for him, even though there are guys who might be a little more skilled in that department. The guy just pumps in goals like nobody not named Alex Ovechkin. It's what he does. He gets a little banged up, misses some time, could have played more, but I think was extra careful, knowing that you might not have Ekholm again the rest of the season. Hyman was hurt late in the season. Stuart Skinner was hurt late in the season. Trent Frederick was hurt late in the season. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, I want to say, was hurt late in the season. Like, so many guys in and out. Leon Draisaitl's priority was winning the Stanley Cup. So I thought that he would go off last night. And honestly, I thought he had a kind of weird game. Like, not his best. And you look at the stat line after, you're like, oh, monster game with his 4th overtime winner this postseason. He was probably incredible. No, not really. Not by Leon Draisaitl standards.
And Game 3 was Leon Draisaitl's worst game. He didn't even register a shot on goal. That's why I brought up the maybe changing up his line mates, giving him some new juice out there. But Deej, it's been strictly business all season long for the Edmonton Oilers. I can only imagine. I know it as a fan how much it sucked to get to Game 7 of the Cup Final and then go, I got to host 82 regular season pre- and post-game shows. Are you shitting me? Imagine if I was playing, putting my body on the line. But it was business. These guys elected, we're going to make sure we're going to prioritize health. We're going to be the healthiest team heading into the NHL playoffs. And furthermore, because of that, this is something, a drum I've been banging for a while now. The end of the season, the Edmonton Oilers had to lean on their depth players because they had no other options. You saw guys like Connor Brown playing top-line minutes. You saw Jeff Skinner starting to roll a bit. Kasperi Kapanen. Other these other guys, Nuge was rolling. He was the best Oiler for like 2 weeks straight. They had no choice. Out of necessity, they had to get rolling. Then you come to the playoffs. You throw in 29 and 97. These guys, depth players, are already rolling. Now they get shoved down the lineup a little bit. It's just that domino effect. And I do think it's weird and crazy to say, but in hindsight, some of those late season injuries might have been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of grow the rest of the thing. While one thing is down, you work on the rest. You know, if I don't know, like if you're doing a bunch of push-ups and suddenly something's a little funky with one of your arms and you just keep doing them one-armed, then it's going to be a really strong... I've never done a push-up before, so I botched that analogy, as you can tell by looking at me. Get the What Chaos sweatshirt. It's nice and big and oversized, so it's comfy. Do we want to get to these goals?
Yeah, let's get to the goals. I'm going to pop myself off. Maybe you and Sean do that, and I'll man the scenes behind, get the highlights going.
Okay, we'll do a scoring summary. Budweiser has been brewed in Edmonton for 45 years by partnering with Mark Messier, a proud Edmontonian. On this limited edition can, the brand set out to ignite the city of champion spirit. During the brewing process, Budweiser brought one of the original City of Champions signs into the brewery. It served as a symbol of what this can stands for and a reminder of the legacy it was honoring at a time when Budweiser knows the city is united and energized. The brand is giving Edmontonians a new way to express their pride by raising a cold one and reminding them that the champion spirit still runs deep. Okay, scoring summary. This first one, you know it. Oilers shorthanded. Evander Kane takes a tripping penalty to make it a 5-on-3, and then you see there Matthew Tkachuk through a screen, throws it. It gets just off the stick, I want to say, of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on its way up, and it is 1-0, and you see Darnell Nurse and Evander Kane just furious there. And that's the one that makes you start to worry, because Skinner had been so good, and yeah, it's a 5-on-3, but you never know if the floodgates can be opened up, and Panthers are too good a team to just sit back after getting one. Was there more where that came from? Of course there was, because the Panthers' second goal, Florida Pack on the power play. Reinhart kind of bobbles it here, and then the goes off Stu, and he can't hang on to it. It's right off the crest, and yeah, live in the moment, I didn't really know what happened, but you watch it, you want him to hang on to it, but there's Tkachuk on the rebound, and it's 2-0. And Fletcher Reed, if you've ever seen Liar, Liar, you are screaming at your TV, stop breaking the law, asshole. Stop taking penalties. Then, right when you are sick of seeing penalties, you're relieved because you see a penalty taken by Florida and it's not called. And there, where Anton Lundell should be touching up for the high stick from Carter Verhaeghe on Troy Stecher, it's 3-0. Dear God, 3-0 after one. And that ends up being Troy Stecher's second to last shift of the game.
And Troy Stecher was never seen again.
And people in our chat today, when we were talking about it, people were like, oh, no, you don't understand. Troy Stecher was hurt on that high stick. No, he wasn't.
Knoblauch said as much.
Kris Knoblauch was like, oh, no, he's fine. He sucks at
Coach's
hockey,
choice.
which I don't think he sucks at hockey. But there's from Daniel Nugent-Bowman from the Oilers, coach Kris Knoblauch's avail today. It was one that everyone was told to attend. So no reporters complaining about this one. No starting goalie name for Game 5. Troy Stecher being benched was a coach's decision and not related to the high stick he received. So at the intermission, we knew it was coming. There were going to be makeup calls. And there's a kind of phantom slash that gets called. I know it's an Oilers show, so you don't want me saying that the refs were giving the Oilers a call. The Oilers deserved a call, so they got one. And on the power play, it is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And boy, is that needed. That one goes off was that Barkov? Off the glove of Barkov on its way to the water bottle is where I would say, even though I don't think there was a water bottle there, but just absolute tippity top. What placement. And you see there, Aaron Ekblad lays out, Gustav Forsling, he is not, but he tries to be. So terrified. That is the power of Leon Draisaitl right there. Leon Draisaitl is standing on the goal line, and Aaron Ekblad says, I have to block this shot. And you know what? I make fun of Aaron Ekblad a lot, but you know what, you sweet steroid boy? I don't blame you. You're just like, I have to take away this shot. How many teams do we see? Vegas was so good at it for a little bit where they were like anything but Leon Draisaitl. So Ekblad goes out to block the shot. Leon Draisaitl says, I'm okay at passing. Let me get this over. And there you go. It's 3-1. Now, Oilers' second goal. Troy Stecher bench. So it's Mattias Ekholm who is going to feed Darnell Nurse. And Nurse is going to absolutely wire this one short side on Sergei Bobrovsky. How does somebody score from that angle when their name is not Leon Draisaitl? How does someone score short side from that angle when their name is not Leon Draisaitl? Man, one Bob wants back, but also incredible placement. Darnell Nurse has surprised himself. First of all, he looks and he sees Mattias Ekholm, and he's like, who's my defensive partner? Shout out Jeff Skinner, battling, and it's Adam Henrique who picks up the puck, gets it to Mattias Ekholm, and they are off to the races from there. And at 3-2, and oh, I love this, by the way. Is it Kulikov that Jeff Skinner gives a little like, hey, man, nice. Yeah, good to doing business with you. You see this, Pete? What a little asshole move from Jeff Skinner. And we said going into the series, we said, if you want some nasty and you want some shitheaded and you want some annoying, it is slept on how much opponents do not like Jeff Skinner. So that's where you get it there. He battles, pisses off the opponent afterwards, and it's 3-2. And I don't know what the betting odds were for next goal, but at that point, if you are not betting the Edmonton Oilers to tie the game, you are out of your mind. And it is just what they are going to do when Darnell Nurse grabs the puck behind the net and just whips it out in front. And who? Vasily Podkolzin. Depth, baby. Vasily Podkolzin with the backhander past Bob, and what a well-earned hug he receives from Corey Perry, who we didn't even note, yelled at intermission, yelled at them, spoke up, called him every name in the book. That's editorializing on my part, but I'm guessing that's what happened. And it is a 3-3 game. Here's where it gets fun, if that wasn't fun yet. Third period, Barkov trying to clear the puck, trying to get it out of the zone, throws it off Matthias Janmark. And Kapanen is going to jump on this after Barkov unsuccessfully. There it is there. And there it is, Kapanen. Jake Wallman has a lifetime to wind up for that. Everyone knows, including Bob, that it's coming and there's nothing he can do. It's a 4-3 game with 6:24 remaining.
Literally 3 full seconds with his stick in the air.
Like, that is the Randy Moss wave, except you can't get to Randy Moss. Somebody could have slid over and tried to do anything to get in front of that. But I don't know. When you're winding up like that, Sean, that big, are you getting in front of that shot? I don't think so.
I mean,
probably not. Like slide and try to get a stick on it. I mean, Panthers love laying out this series, so nothing doing there though. And it's 4-3. Pete said on our stream after, he said, I hate to say it, but I feel like we're not done here. And wouldn't you know it, we were not. This one is so tough because it was preventable in so many ways. Puck behind the net, and I mean, you see the finished product there, where Reinhart jumps on it, and that's that. But it's before that where Calvin Pickard trying to get it out, gets nothing on it. Kulak tries to send it up the boards. He probably should have just reversed it to Evan Bouchard, would have taken up a couple of seconds, and the Oilers could have lived to play another day, but instead sends it up the boards. And Carter Verhaeghe, dare I say, kind of suns Leon Draisaitl. Great defensive player, Leon Draisaitl, and keeps the play alive, throws it in front. There's a real scramble. Calvin Pickard, if people get on Stu for doing this, we got to get on Calvin Pickard for doing this. Comes a mile out of the net, and there you go, a tie game. But this is why we do this. There's one more goal to share with you. And after posts are hit in overtime, one from Sam Bennett, one from Trent Frederick, the Oilers, on a bad line change from the Florida Panthers, Leon Draisaitl jumps on the ice, and there you see the pass up from Ekholm. Draisaitl trying to slide it across to Corey Perry, and Mattias Ekholm trying to not kick it into his own net, but we can only try some of these things. In Leon Draisaitl's face, his expression just quizzical, confused, didn't know how that happened. Doesn't matter. All we know is it's 5-4. It's a game, and it is a tied series, a 3-game series. What a freaking game. And I feel okay for Bob that it was a weird fluky goal that went in, because Bob and Pickard and Stu Skinner all made a billion great saves in this game. So goaltending, not really the problem. The problem for Florida is you got to go play a 3-game series, 2 of 3 in Edmonton. Yeah, you're good on the road, but I'm taking my chances if I'm the Edmonton Oilers. Boardsy.
Sorry, I'm coming back. I'm not gonna lie to you, Deej. So we do the game, then I do the post-game show. We watch the highlights. I then watched the highlights on my phone in the Uber home, and then I got home and I watched the highlights again one more time. And then this morning I watched them, and I knew we were going to do the scoring summary again today. I could relive that hockey game a million times over.
Same. Yeah, that's what I did. I watched these goals a million times last night, took notes on them. Are you allowed to play the Jack Michaels call?
Yes, I sure am.
Oh, yes. We did that on our show. I mean,
okay, here we go.
Obviously, everyone here is hurt.
Change. Breaking free is Draisaitl to the net. Score! Leon Draisaitl has tied the series with his 4th OT winner in the playoffs. Final score, Edmonton 5, Florida 4 in overtime.
And in the process, what does Leon Draisaitl do, Jack? With his 4th overtime goal in one playoffs. That, my friend,
Is a new league record.
there you go.
Unbelievable.
What can you even say? The passion is unmatched. He drew that one out to the perfect realm. And also, I saw you guys talking about on What Chaos. Bob and Jack, for guys that aren't doing regular season games together, the chemistry off the charts, finishing each other's sentences there at the end. That's A+ stuff from them.
Incredible. I mean, that man was born to say in overtime. Like, Breen is to bang what Jack Michaels is to in overtime. And if Leon Draisaitl were my favorite player because he's Leon Draisaitl, he's my favorite player because he does stuff that gives me those calls from Jack Michaels.
Leon Draisaitl, 4 overtime winners, and we're not done yet. The crazy part, I believe he never had an overtime winner in the NHL playoffs before this season. I like Sean's point. This kind of is Leon Draisaitl's year. It's Leon's team this season. For a man that's already got an MVP trophy to his name and in his case, he's just looking for one now. Lord Stanley, please come back to Canada. So, Deej, just a question. God forbid this goes the way we want it to. Would you guys come for a parade?
Oh, yeah. Parade? Good question. I mean, we will go to any Oilers clinching game. And if that shows any bias by this podcast, so be it. We'll go to game 6 or we'll go to game 7, maybe even both. Parade. I mean, I love Edmonton and I'll stay there forever. How long after game 7 do you think the parade would be?
I would think, well, game 7's on a Friday. They probably like Monday, Tuesday dealio. I would assume everybody in the whole city just gets the day off work. I would imagine so. Everything would be shut down. Deej, we don't need to get there yet, but keep that on the back burner just in case, because I would love to party with the fellas.
I mean, I've been on a Patriots parade float.
What? You were on one of the duck boats?
Yes. Yeah. Do we get, let me see. Be like, Bob, get me on there. It's all I want in life.
Something tells me Oilers Nation will not be getting a float on that parade, but you can go as proxy. If we can get somebody in, we'd love that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure the Oilers would definitely hook it up. It would be absolutely fine. But damn, that parade would go absolutely bonkers. I've said many a time, I saw Edmonton Oilers fans celebrate a Game 4 win in the Stanley Cup Final last year in Edmonton. Was there, and that celebration was bigger than any championship celebration I have seen in any city, and I will remind people that I live in Boston.
I believe that was a weekend game as well. I remember doing pre-gaming for Game 4 there and going, This is our Super Bowl. If we can just win one game in the Cup Final, I'm going to pretend that we just won the Cup. And then little did I know, we would then win Game 5. We'd win Game 6. And as we joke, the NHL season just got canceled. I don't know what happened after that. But, Deej, you know Edmonton, and you've been down to Greta. Devin Dubnyk fell in love with Greta. He left Game 2. He was in a suite for Explore Edmonton. Shout out Explore Edmonton. When at the end of the third period going into OT, Dubs is in a suite. And he texts me and he goes, am I crazy? But I think I want to leave here and head down to Greta so I can party with you guys. He had to take 8,000 photos, was not able to get down for the first OT. Then we get second intermission for OT there. He's on his horse, his words, hoofing it down the street. He ran all the way to Greta, made it just in time for second OT. Unfortunately, the Edmonton Oilers would go on to lose that game, but that tells you how sick Edmonton is and Greta as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, letting the what would you call it? The current. Yeah, letting the current just take me from Rogers to Greta after Game 4 is one of the great experiences of my lifetime. Just walking, it was just a bunch of people high-fiving each other, nothing but high fives, orange cars everywhere. I learned that people have cars in Edmonton for in case the Oilers win a big game. It's just nothing but orange cars. And I didn't pull up Google Maps. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew that I was being taken to Greta. This tide and this current was taking me to Greta. And it was just like I floated there. And it was amazing. And I came in, I saw you, I saw Zach, I saw Captain. Felt like so many people were there. It was an absolute party. Man, I would say, and I was going to be there for Game 5, but I have a family commitment, unfortunately. But Game 7, that whole scene, I can't even imagine. But I don't know. Maybe there isn't a Game 7 because I would not put it past the Panthers to say we're shutting this shit down. But I especially would not put it past the Edmonton Oilers to, after a meltdown, not lose a game the rest of the series, because that is what has happened every time this postseason. Whatever the hell was going on in the beginning of that Kings series, they don't lose the rest of the way. After the weird own goal at the end of the game in Game 3 against Vegas, they don't lose a game the rest of the way. After the meltdown penalties in the third period in Game 1 against the Stars in the Western Conference Final, they don't lose a game the rest of the way. So we all feel like this is going 7 no matter what. My number one rule and our number one rule on What Chaos this series, we said we're doing no takeaways. We are not doing takeaways. We're not saying this means this, because these teams screw around too much. We're not taking anything as a sign, but maybe based on what we saw in previous series, this one doesn't even go 7.
I like that you mentioned that. For me, I have been very consistent. This series is going 7 games. You're crazy if you don't think so. 3 out of 4 have already gone to extra time. I think this is when it's coming down to the wire, but I like that you mentioned the Oilers and their ability to just respond. You mentioned you get your heart ripped out of your chest with 0.4 seconds. They go on and dog walk the Golden Knights. You implode in the third period of Game 1 against the Dallas Stars, and the Oilers bounce back. They got blown out in Game 3. They came back strong in this one, even though the first period didn't look like it. I also got to say to our chat right now, people, we talk parades in the Boston Pizza ad read every single time. They run commercials for it. They're mad. They're saying I'm jinxing people. I don't want any of that. Also, I host a pregame show. You're not allowed to jinx when you host a pregame because you're just put yourself in a tough spot. I love you all. I understand your hesitancy, but you all want DJ at the parade too, and I will leave it at that.
I'm going to set Sean up, and maybe I do this all the time to Sean. I'm like, Sean, remember, what did I say yesterday? Or what was that thing you said yesterday? Tell everybody. And he's like, everybody says a fucking million sentences. I don't know what you're talking about specifically. But what do I always say when people talk about jinxes? Don't say that. You're going to jinx it. Don't do this.
We don't have that much power.
I don't have that much power.
I don't know if you know, I don't strap on the skates. I'm not playing.
You are not playing the game.
Chat is pissed at this conversation. Really? It's so funny. It's just a lot of stop this, knock this off. It's very, very funny.
Maybe we go to our one big takes now, Deej.
Yes, let's go to our one big take. And this summer, find your happy place in Jasper. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire. Damn, I think I got to go. Happiness finds you here. Jasper is open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. So drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy food and drink, because your summer memories, those best ones, they're not behind you. They're waiting for you this summer in Jasper. I'll be damned. Am I going to Jasper?
Brother,
Parade?
I think you should. It's revitalized. It looks beautiful now.
Really? So I'm doing Parade, then Jasper?
Dude, I'll come with you. The summer of Deej. Let's go.
We do duck boats in Boston. Do we take like a pad? Do we like paddle along the concrete in?
We're going to go down the
Edmonton?
North
How do we do
Saskatchewan
it?
River, which is full of, I
Yes.
believe, of some
Okay.
excrement. But whatever, we'll power through.
Yes, we can do it. We're all big Dave Matthews Band fans over here, so what's a little excrement in the water? Okay, one big take. I had about 400 big takes, which makes me a hypocrite because I said no takeaways. But this isn't a takeaway. It's an observation, okay? And that's what we say every time we do a takeaway. When we say no takeaway, we say it's not a takeaway, it's an observation. Everybody, by the way, if you could, subscribe to What Chaos on YouTube if you like any of this weird shit that's happening, because what Boardsy and Sean and I are doing is exactly what our show is, which is to say it's like a B version of the normal Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Anyway, I digress. Okay, my big observation is the Edmonton Oilers have taken, I believe, 13 high-sticking penalties in this postseason. They have taken 5 high-sticking penalties in this series. Evander Kane has taken 3 high-sticking penalties in this series. That is 1.25 penalties of high-sticking per game. And the Florida Panthers are scoring on 60% of those high-sticking penalties. They have 3 power play goals on high-sticking penalties from the Oilers, which is way too often a rate, just like 1.25 high-sticking penalties a game is way too often a rate. So, boys, please, I know that you're playing against guys, my dear friend Brad Marchand, who are little bits of things. Keep your sticks down. Oh, my God. I can even tolerate the occasional offensive zone penalty, which normally, Sean, you've watched games with me, I pull my hair out when I see either team take an offensive zone stick penalty. It's just so avoidable. The other guy isn't about to do anything that's about to get you. So keep your freaking stick down. That's my takeaway. This series, there's 2 or 3 games left, could come down to special teams. The Panthers score when you take high sticking penalties. Don't do it.
The margins are so razor thin in this series. It often comes down to special teams. And I got to say, maybe just emphasize if you're Nobby in the first period, because we've seen throughout the series, they're going to call everything in those first 20 minutes, and then it's going to go off a little bit. So maybe start with just keep your sticks down for the first 20 minutes and go from there. But I couldn't agree more. I keep saying it. Evander Kane, borderline liability right now. He got benched in the first period, was demoted to the 4th line for points of yesterday's game because, dude, this is crunch time. You can't afford to be doing things like that. In Evander Kane's case, you're a veteran in the NHL, and I do think it's his game to get sucked into that stuff and play that extracurriculars, but I do think Evander Kane is being sucked in a little bit too much in that game 3. No better example. He lost his cool. Everybody on this team lost their cool. But Deej, I've also got Oilers Nation writer Zach Lang here, and I believe he's got a hot take as well. One big take.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Happy to be here. I do have one big take. The series is tied at 2, and Connor McDavid does not have a goal. I'm kind of like really surprised he hasn't found a way to break through yet. He's generated 2.38 individual expected goals so far through 4 games. And it really only feels like a matter of time before he really finds the back of the net. Like, he had some really good scoring chances last night. He has all series long. I think the Panthers should maybe be a little bit terrified of the fact that, like, the Oilers are returning to home ice. They've got 2 out of the next 3 in Rogers Place. And Connor McDavid hasn't really done Connor McDavid things yet.
Yes, he is looming. That was another option for my take. There are so many takes, and you put it way more eloquently than I could have, so I appreciate you for doing that, Zach. Listen, Pete said going into yesterday's game, this has to be a Connor McDavid game, and I countered, I agree, but also what if it isn't and they win anyway, then game 5 can just be a Connor McDavid game. And Connor McDavid is no stranger to saying, let's just make every game a Connor McDavid game. So with 2 or 3 games left, something's going to happen from that guy. If Connor McDavid scores no goals in this series and the Panthers win, good for the Panthers. You won the Stanley Cup and you kept the best to ever do it from scoring a single goal. How did you do that? Oh my God, here is your Stanley Cup. I don't think it goes down like that. And I don't think Connor McDavid scoring means they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I'm just saying I don't think that Connor McDavid is going the rest of the series without burying one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing about this, right? Is like he's a guy who always finds a way to make an impact on series, especially with his goal scoring. I mean, he's done it all throughout the playoffs. He's had big goals in every single series. And again, it's not like he doesn't have his chances right now, but Bobrovsky's just been finding a way to slam the door. And if he finds a way to break through here and the rest of the team can continue to toe the line the way that they have, man, that's a scary thought, I think, for the Panthers.
Oh boy, is it. I'm not feeling amazing if I'm the Panthers, knowing that at some point that's going to change. Sean?
I was going to say, but I'm the spin zone on, I guess, both of these takes is as far as the penalties go. I know it's somewhat of a large sample size at this point, but I brought this up last night. Feels like that can't happen every game. And if that's the way that the Panthers have gotten to the point where this is a 2-2 series, feels like they can't be banking on that for the rest of the series. And then as far as the Connor McDavid thing goes, you got to believe he's going to score at some point. But as I said earlier, like, This is not his team this year. It's the worst goal scoring season he's had since his rookie year. Like, there is a chance that they just don't really need him to, because they've gotten to this point. Obviously, he's been good throughout these plays, but like they've gotten to this point by and large with Leon Draisaitl being the driver of the team. So like, that's terrifying. If as a Florida Panthers fan, like the fact that there still could be the greatest player of all time to show up at some point, and the fact that you have to assume that at some point the Oilers aren't going to be complete assholes in the first period. So, yeah, I mean, I would be, I know it's 2-2 series and the defending cup champs, but I would be shaking in my boots a little bit if I was a Florida Panther.
Boardsy, you got daily bets for me?
Yeah, I'm just going to go through, but how about you do the Bet365 ad read?
Oh, okay. Let's do the Bet365
Or maybe no, I'll just do it. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Shout out to them. Whatever the moment, never ordinary. You can bet on series winners, points, power play points, goals. Connor McDavid's getting juicy. I agree. He is going to score by the end of this series. I fully believe in the man, and you can do all of that at Bet365.
Yeah, I mean, before this series, I took Connor McDavid to be the leading goal scorer for the series. Here's a hot take. I'm not ruling out that happening. Saying he can't get 4 the rest of the way? Saying he can at least get 3, pull even with some of these guys? He's Connor McDavid. Anything can happen over the next 2 games, we shall say.
He's going to dig deep. I mean, forgive my pun. He's going to dig in. He's been shooting the puck a lot. He had that one chance in the dead slot where you said he loaded up a slap shot for 3 seconds, much like Jake Woolman. I bet on a McDavid anytime goal yesterday. I'm probably going to do it again tomorrow. But my Bet365 question for you, Deej, Sean, you as well. Could the Pacers do it again? Could they win Game 4 at home? They're plus 195 on the money line. Every game I've sat here and said the Thunder are going to blow them out. Yet the Pacers have been doing this now for 4 rounds of the NBA. You down for plus 195 Pacers money line, or the Thunder going to even it up?
Oh, I'm in on the Pacers.
You are?
Yeah. I mean, I think I feel like at this point they've seen, as long as they run their offense through Tyrese Halliburton, like they win games. I think that Halliburton had his best, like he finally outperformed SGA in kind of like the head-to-head matchup. And if that continues, I think it's curtains for the Thunder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating seeing the Pacers get one. I would love actually to see. I mean, the Thunder have been the more fun story in terms of like.
Yeah, I love SGA.
This is how you build a team.
Yeah,
but yeah, give me the Pacers. Give me the Pacers.
This is what I talked about being an impartial fan. It's nice to just watch 2 teams that I don't have a rooting interest in. And there's 2 Canadians on the Thunder, 1 on the Pacers, and I say Pascal Siakam is an honorary Canadian. Shout out to 2019 Raptors championship team. What up? But Sean, I'm with you. I think I'm going to ride with the Pacers tomorrow. So that probably means I'm a mush. You should go with the Thunder.
Ben Matherin, by the way, speaking of those Canadian players.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Another one, too.
A dog.
Incredible. What do I have one more read I got to hit?
No, I might just say that Zach's appearances were brought to us by Star Mechanical. Shout out to them. They do great things around the city. Tyler's neighbor, Red, he worked for Star Mechanical. I can say I have met the man, and he is a trustworthy fellow, and that's what you get at Star Mechanical. Shout out to them. They can do everything you need done inside your home. And Deej, now we're good.
Yes, this has been an absolute blast. I cannot thank you enough for letting me sub in for Tyler here. You know that I love this show. You know that I love all you guys. Liam is the greatest. I'm sorry I had no cool ghost stories, but thank you for letting Sean and I bring our silly little thing to your very fun, albeit also silly, endearing little thing.
Deej, we love you. You're an oil man through and through. You're an honorary Oilers Nation employee as far as I'm concerned. I know the chat loves you. Everyone was excited to have you join. Sean, shout out to you behind the scenes. From producer to producer, game respects game. So thank you for helping DJ get set up as well. And I hope everybody enjoyed a little Friday show. We're pre-gaming again tomorrow. We got post-game as well. Zach Lang going to be joining me for both pre and post. We got our pal Devin Dubnik. Get your rest. Try to maybe avoid the booze tonight. I think I'm going to, because then we're going to hit it hard again tomorrow. I'll see you, Greta. There we go. Love you all. And Deej, the chat doesn't want me to bring it up, but I hope I see you in Edmonton at a later date.
Fuck yes, you will.
There we go. See you guys. Oil up, as Tyler Remchuk would say.